Let us begin our journey into the peaceful world of deer. These gentle creatures that move through forests and meadows with such quiet grace. As you settle into comfort, allow yourself to simply listen, to learn, and to let go. If these gentle journeys bring you peace, consider leaving a kind word, sharing this moment with another, or joining our growing flock of quiet dreamers. Comment your favorite animal and I might include it in the next video. Deer are mammals, beautiful, warm-blooded mammals, and at the end of each of their slender legs, they have hooves. Hooves on each foot. These hooves are actually specialized structures, keratin formations, much like our own fingernails, yet perfectly designed for the life a deer leads. Each hoof is split into two main toes, creating what we call a cloven hoof. This split design helps deer navigate their world, helps them find purchase on uneven ground, on rocky hillsides, on soft forest floors covered in moss and fallen leaves. With each step, these hooves carry deer through their habitats. Quiet steps, careful steps, for hooves, for points of contact with the earth. Imagine the deer moving slowly through morning mist, each hoof placement deliberate and sure. These remarkable creatures, these hoofed mammals we call deer, belong to a family, a scientific family known as Cervidae. Cervidae, the word itself comes from the Latin cervus, meaning deer or stag. This family is ancient, stretching back through time. When scientists classify living things, they group them together, and all deer, whether large or small, whether living in mountains or forests or even wetlands, they all share this family name, Cervidae. It connects them across continents and climates, a thread of relation that binds the tiny poodoo of South America to the magnificent red deer of Europe. Family Cervidae, a grouping that helps us understand the natural world just a little bit better. Let this knowledge settle over you like a soft blanket. You are doing wonderfully. Your mind is open and receptive. Allow yourself to sink deeper into relaxation as these gentle facts wash over you like waves on a peaceful shore. There is nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to do. And where might we find members of this family? Where do these gentle creatures make their homes? Deer are found on every continent, nearly everywhere humans have explored, every continent except Antarctica. Think of that for a moment. The frozen expanse of Antarctica, covered in ice and snow, too harsh and barren for deer to call home. But everywhere else, they have adapted and thrived. In the forests of North America, deer pick their way through pine and oak. In the woodlands of Europe, they browse on tender shoots. In Asia, across vast and varied landscapes, deer have found their niches. South America holds deer species too, and even in Africa, though many people don't realize this. From tropical regions to northern tundra, from sea level to high mountain ranges, deer have spread across our world. Only Antarctica remains without them, that single ice-bound continent. All the others are home to When we speak of deer as a whole, we might wonder, how many types are there? How many different species? There are many deer species worldwide. So many that even experts debate the exact count. Estimates range from about 40 to more than 90, depending on how scientists choose to classify them. You see, classification can be complex. Some deer that look different might actually be subspecies rather than separate species. Some deer that were once thought to be one species might actually be several. As genetic testing becomes more sophisticated, our understanding shifts and changes. But whether we count 40 species or 90, that is still a remarkable diversity. Each species adapted to its own particular environment, its own way of life. Some are social, gathering in large herds. Others are solitary, preferring to move through their world alone or in pairs. The exact number may shift as science advances, but the wonder remains constant. So much variety, so many ways of being a D. You are absorbing this knowledge so peacefully. Your breathing is becoming slower and deeper. Feel how relaxed your body is becoming. Each fact is like a stepping stone leading you closer to restful sleep. You are doing beautifully. Among all these species, which is the largest? The moose. The moose is the largest living deer species. Imagine this magnificent creature, standing taller at the shoulder than most humans. A bull moose can weigh as much as 700 kilograms, sometimes even more. Their antlers alone can span nearly 2 meters from tip to tip. Broad, palmate antlers like open hands reaching toward the sky. These giants wade through wetlands and marshes in the northern regions, through Canada, Alaska, Scandinavia, and Russia. They browse on aquatic plants, dipping their great heads beneath the water's surface. Despite their size, moose move through forests with surprising grace, stepping over fallen logs, navigating between trees. The moose, the largest of all deer, a gentle giant of the north, mostly solitary, mostly quiet, content in their vast territories. Now, here's something unexpected, something that surprises many people when they first learn it. Some deer species do not have antlers at all. The Chinese water deer, for example, this small deer of eastern China and Korea, they do not have antlers. Instead, they have long canine teeth, elongated teeth that protrude from the upper jaw like small tusks. These tusks are especially prominent in males, and they use them much as other deer use antlers, for display, for competition during mating season. The Chinese water deer moves through wetlands and grasslands, and if you were to see one, you might do a double take, for those visible tusks give them quite a distinctive appearance. Sometimes called vampire deer because of these prominent teeth, though there is nothing frightening about them. They are simply deer that followed a different evolutionary path. Deer that kept and developed their canine teeth instead of growing antlers. Nature's diversity is truly remarkable, always finding different solutions, different ways for creatures to adapt and survive. Let your eyes grow heavy. Feel the weight of your eyelids. You are learning so much, yet you are completely relaxed. Your mind can hold these peaceful facts while your body drifts deeper and deeper into comfort. You are exactly where you need to be. What do we call the young of deer? Baby deer are called fawns. Fawns. Such a gentle word for such gentle creatures. When they are born, most fawns have spotted coats. White spots dappled across brown or reddish fur. These spots serve as camouflage, breaking up the fawn's outline when it lies still among the sunlight and shadows of the forest floor. A newborn fawn has almost no scent, nature's way of protecting it from predators. For the first weeks of life, a fawn will lie very still while its mother forages nearby, waiting patiently, relying on its camouflage and lack of scent to keep it safe. The mother returns several times a day to nurse her baby. As the fawn grows stronger, it begins to follow its mother, learning which plants to eat, where to find water, how to move through their habitat. Those spots will fade as the fawn matures, but for now, it lies quiet in the dappled light. A fawn, new life in the forest. Here's something fascinating about how deer digest their food. Deer are ruminants, which means they chew cud and have a multi-chambered stomach. Let us think about what this means. When a deer eats, it doesn't chew its food completely at first. Instead, it swallows grass, leaves, and other plant material, and this food goes into the first chamber of its stomach, called the rumen. There, the food begins to break down. Later, when the deer is resting, when it has moved to a safe spot, it regurgitates small portions of this partially digested food. This is the cud. The deer then chews this cud thoroughly, grinding it down with its strong molars. After the second chewing, the deer swallows again, and the food passes through the other chambers of the stomach, the reticulum, the omasum, and finally the abomasum, where digestion continues. This system allows deer to extract maximum nutrition from plant material that can be difficult to digest. They can eat quickly in open areas where they might be vulnerable, then retreat to safety to do the real work of chewing and digesting. Ruminants. This is what deer are, patient processors of the plant world. You are doing so well. Your mind is calm like a still pond. These facts are ripples moving across the surface, gentle ripples that help you drift. There is no effort in this, only peace, only the quiet accumulation of knowledge as you float towards sleep. And what do these ruminants eat? What sustains them? Deer mostly eat plants, grass, leaves, and shoots. They are herbivores, plant eaters that browse and graze their way through their habitats. In spring, deer might eat the tender new grass that pushes up through warming soil, fresh shoots that are rich in nutrients. They eat the leaves of countless plant species, selecting carefully, using their keen sense of smell to identify what is good to eat. Shoots, the new growth on bushes and trees. Deer will stretch their necks to reach them, or rise up on their hind legs to access vegetation that would otherwise be out of reach. Different seasons bring different foods. but grass, leaves, and shoots form the foundation of most deer diets. Watch a deer feeding and you'll see this careful selection. A few bites here, a few steps, a few bites there. Constantly moving, constantly browsing, finding the best nutrition the plant world has to offer. But their diet is more varied than we might think at first. Deer sometimes eat fungi, mosses, lichens, and even bark, not just grass and leaves. When winter comes and fresh vegetation becomes scarce, deer adapt. They might scrape away snow to reach moss growing on rocks. Green life even in the coldest months. Lichens hanging from trees. They eat these too, particularly in northern regions. Fungi, mushrooms pushing up through the forest floor. These can provide nutrition when other foods are less available. And bark. When times are particularly hard, deer will strip bark from trees, eating the cambium layer underneath, the living tissue of the tree. This bark eating is usually a sign of a difficult winter, but it shows the adaptability of deer. They are primarily eaters of grass, leaves, and shoots, yes, but they can broaden their diet when needed, finding sustenance in unexpected places. This flexibility has helped deer survive across so many different environments, so many different challenges. Feel yourself sinking deeper now, deeper into comfort, deeper into relaxation. You have learned so much about these peaceful creatures. Let this knowledge rest gently in your mind. You are so relaxed, so peaceful, exactly as you should be. Let us take a moment to reflect on what we have discovered together about these gentle beings who share our world. We have learned that deer are hoofed mammals, that they belong to the family Cervidae, that they can be found across almost the entire world on every continent but Antarctica. We know now that there are many species of deer, perhaps 40, perhaps 90, a beautiful diversity of forms and adaptations. We have met the moose, the largest of all deer, and the Chinese water deer with its distinctive tusks instead of antlers. We know that baby deer are called fawns, that deer are ruminants with complex stomachs, allowing them to extract every bit of nutrition from the plants they eat. And we understand that while deer mostly eat grass, leaves, and shoots, they can also survive on fungi, mosses, lichens, and bark when needed. 10 gentle facts, 10 small windows into the world of deer. Rest now, let this knowledge settle, and prepare yourself for more peaceful learning as you drift towards sleep. As we continue our gentle journey into the world of deer, let yourself settle even more deeply into comfort, your mind open and receptive, ready to absorb these peaceful truths about nature's gentle wanderers. Here is something that surprises many people, something unexpected about these herbivores we have been learning about. Deer can occasionally eat meat, especially when certain minerals are scarce. Yes, these creatures we think of as plant eaters, these grazers and browsers, will sometimes consume animal matter. This happens most often when they need minerals like calcium or phosphorus, minerals essential for growing antlers and maintaining strong bones. A deer might eat a small bird, perhaps one that has died and lies upon the ground. They have been observed chewing on bones left behind by predators, extracting those precious minerals. In some cases, deer will eat fish that have washed up on shorelines. This behavior isn't common. It's not what deer prefer, but it demonstrates their adaptability. When their bodies need something, they find ways to obtain it. Nature is rarely as simple as we might think. And deer, these seemingly gentle vegetarians, will do what they must to survive and thrive. The world is full of such nuances, such subtle complexities. One of the most distinctive features of deer, one of the things that makes them so recognizable, is their antlers. Most male deer grow antlers, and here is what makes antlers so remarkable. They shed and regrow them regularly. Imagine that, growing bone structures that can span meters from tip to tip, only to drop them and grow them again. Antlers are not horns. Horns are permanent, growing throughout an animal's life. But antlers are temporary, cyclical, tied to the seasons and to the deer's reproductive cycle. Each year, male deer, bucks, stags, bulls, depending on the species, they grow a new set of antlers. This process requires tremendous energy, tremendous resources from the deer's body. The antlers begin as small bumps called pedicles, and from these the antlers emerge and grow, branching and extending. And when the season is done, when they have served their purpose, the deer sheds them and the cycle begins anew. Year after year, growth and shedding, one of nature's most fascinating patterns. You are absorbing these facts so beautifully. Your breathing is slow and rhythmic, like gentle waves upon a shore. Feel how heavy your limbs are becoming, how peaceful your mind. You are doing wonderfully. Just continue to listen and drift. Now, we learned that most male deer grow antlers. But what about females? In nearly all deer species, females do not grow antlers. Nearly all. But there is one magnificent exception. Female reindeer are the only female deer that typically grow antlers. Reindeer, called caribou in North America, both males and females grow these branching crowns. This makes reindeer unique among all the deer species in the world. The female's antlers are generally smaller than the male's antlers, but they grow them nonetheless. And here's something wonderful. Male reindeer shed their antlers in late autumn or early winter, after the mating season, but females keep their antlers through the winter. This means that in the depths of winter, in those herds moving across snowy tundra, the deer with antlers are actually the females. Some scientists believe females keep their antlers to help them compete for food during pregnancy, using them to sweep away snow to reach the lichens underneath. Those reindeer pulling Santa's sleigh in all our stories and songs, if they have antlers in winter, they would actually be female. A delightful thought, nature rewriting our familiar tales. When do deer shed these remarkable antlers? Most deer shed their antlers once a year, usually in late fall or early winter. The exact timing varies by species and by individual, but there is a pattern. After the mating season ends, after the males have competed with each other, clashing antlers in contests of strength, after all this is done, the antlers have served their purpose. Hormonal changes in the deer's body trigger the shedding process. At the base of each antler, where it connects to the pedicle on the skull, a special layer of cells begins to dissolve. Gradually, the connection weakens. Then one day, the deer might be walking through the forest and an antler simply falls off. Sometimes both antlers fall within hours of each other, sometimes days apart. The deer is not harmed. There is no pain in this shedding. The antlers drop to the forest floor, where they provide minerals for other animals. Mice and squirrels gnaw on them for calcium. And the deer rests until the cycle begins again. Late fall or early winter, the time of shedding, the time of letting go. Feel yourself letting go, just as the deer lets go of its antlers. You can let go of any tension, any thoughts that no longer serve you. Feel yourself becoming lighter, more peaceful, drifting like a leaf on a gentle stream. You are so relaxed, so wonderfully calm. But let us return to those antlers while they are growing, for that process is beautiful in its own way. Antlers are covered in velvet while they are growing, and that velvet is later shed. This velvet, it's not fabric, of course. It's a living tissue, soft and fuzzy to the touch, covered in fine hairs. Beneath this velvet coating, a rich network of blood vessels delivers nutrients and oxygen to the growing antler bone. The velvet is warm. You could feel the blood pulsing through it if you were to touch a deer's antlers in velvet. This is one of the fastest growing tissues in the animal kingdom. Antlers in velvet can grow as much as 2 centimeters per day. Throughout spring and summer, the antlers grow, branching and extending beneath their velvet covering. But when the antlers reach full size, when summer turns to autumn, the blood supply to the velvet is cut off. The velvet dries, begins to peel away. The deer helps this process by rubbing its antlers against trees and bushes, scraping and thrashing until the velvet hangs in strips, then falls away completely. Beneath, the hard, bony antlers are revealed, ready for the mating season ahead. From soft velvet to hard bone, another transformation in the endless cycle. The physical features of deer are remarkable, but their senses are equally extraordinary. Deer have excellent hearing, truly exceptional hearing. Their ears are large, mobile, and can turn independently to detect sounds from different directions. Watch a deer when it's alert, and you'll see those ears swivel and rotate, one ear facing forward while the other turns backward, or both ears focusing on the same sound, pinpointing its location. Each ear can move on its own, controlled by multiple muscles that allow precise positioning. This means a deer can monitor sounds from all around without moving its head, without giving away its position. The shape of their ears, like natural satellite dishes, helps gather and focus sound waves. Deer can hear frequencies that humans cannot, higher pitches beyond our range. The snap of a twig 100 meters away, the rustle of fabric from a distant observer. These sounds reach the deer's awareness. Their hearing is one of their primary defenses, an early warning system that tells them when danger might be approaching. Those ears, always moving, always listening, gathering information from the world around them. You are learning so much, and yet you are so deeply relaxed. Your mind is like still water, clear and peaceful. These facts float gently across your consciousness. You need not hold on to them. Just let them drift through. You are becoming more and more ready for sleep. And if a deer's hearing is excellent, their sense of smell is even more impressive. Their sense of smell is very strong and helps warn them about danger. A deer's nose contains hundreds of millions of scent receptors, far more than humans possess. While we might smell a general forest scent, a deer smells each individual component: the pine sap, the decaying leaves, the moss on the rocks, the moisture in the air, and most importantly, predators. A deer can detect the scent of a wolf, a mountain lion, a human, from remarkable distances, especially when the wind carries the scent toward them. This is why hunters must be so careful about scent control, why they consider wind direction so critically. A deer's survival often depends on its nose, detecting danger before danger arrives. They test the air constantly. You'll see them raise their heads, nostrils flaring, reading the messages carried on the breeze. Other deer, too, they can identify individuals by scent, find their fawns in a group, detect whether other deer are stressed or calm. Their world is rich with scent information, a language written in molecules on the air, and they are fluent readers of this invisible text. Their eyes, too, are specially adapted for survival. A deer's eyes are positioned for a wide field of view, helping it spot predators more easily. Unlike human eyes, which face forward to give us depth perception for tasks requiring precision, deer have eyes on the sides of their heads. This positioning gives them an incredibly wide field of vision, nearly 310 degrees. They can see almost all the way around themselves without turning their head. Only a small area directly behind them is a blind spot, and they can cover even that by turning their head just slightly. This panoramic vision means a deer can watch for danger from almost every direction while grazing, while feeding with its head down. The trade-off is that deer don't have the same depth perception that we do, but for their needs, a wide field of view is more valuable. Their eyes also have horizontal, slit-shaped pupils, which expands their horizontal field of vision even further. And there's another adaptation, a layer of tissue called the tapetum lucidum at the back of their eyes. This reflects light back through the retina, improving night vision. This is what makes deer's eyes shine when caught in headlights, that reflected glow. Eyes designed not for reading or detailed work, but for surveillance, for detecting movement, for survival. Your eyelids are so heavy now. Your whole body is heavy and relaxed, sinking deeper into whatever supports you. You are safe. You are calm. These gentle facts about deer are like a lullaby, soft and soothing, leading you deeper into peace, with all these senses alerting them to danger. Deer also need the physical ability to escape. Deer can run fast and jump very high to escape predators. Their powerful leg muscles, their light, streamlined bodies, these allow for impressive bursts of speed. A white-tailed deer can run at speeds up to 48 kilometers per hour. Some species even faster. They can maintain this speed for several kilometers if necessary, though usually a shorter burst is enough to reach safety. And they don't just run. They can change direction instantly, bounding left then right, making it difficult for predators to anticipate their path. Those long legs can also propel them upward. Deer can jump remarkably high. A white-tailed deer can leap over obstacles nearly 3 meters high, and they can jump more than 9 meters in length in a single bound. Imagine that, such power in those slender legs. Fences that seem impossibly tall. Deer sail over them with apparent ease. This jumping ability helps them escape predators, yes, but also helps them navigate their terrain. Leaping over fallen logs, crossing streams, moving through their three-dimensional world with grace and power combined. And there is one more physical ability worth knowing about. One that surprises many people. Deer are strong swimmers, not just fast runners and jumpers. When necessary, deer take to water with confidence. Those same powerful legs that carry them across land. They work equally well for swimming. Deer have been observed swimming across wide rivers, across lakes, even crossing sea channels between islands. Their hollow guard hairs, part of their fur coat. These hairs trap air and provide buoyancy, helping them float. A deer swims with its head above water, legs paddling steadily beneath the surface, covering distances that would exhaust many animals. Some deer species, like moose, actually prefer to spend time in water, wading in lakes and ponds to feed on aquatic plants, and swimming easily when they need to. Water is not an obstacle to deer. It's simply another environment they can navigate, whether escaping danger, seeking new territory, or accessing food sources. Deer enter the water without hesitation. Strong swimmers, adding yet another dimension to their already impressive physical capabilities. Breathe slowly, deeply. You are so relaxed now, so peaceful. Let go of everything except this gentle journey. You are doing perfectly. There is no effort needed, only this soft drift toward sleep, toward rest. Let us reflect gently on what we have discovered in this portion of our journey. We learned that deer occasionally eat meat for needed minerals, that most male deer grow and shed antlers in a yearly cycle, that female reindeer are unique among deer in growing antlers, and that most deer shed these antlers in late fall or early winter. We discovered the velvet that covers growing antlers, soft and blood-rich until it dries and peels away. We explored the deer's remarkable senses, their excellent hearing with independently rotating ears, their powerful sense of smell that warns of danger, and their eyes positioned for a wide field of view, watching for predators from nearly all directions. Finally, we learned about their physical prowess, their speed and jumping ability to escape danger, and their strength as swimmers when they take to the water. 10 more gentle truths, 10 more windows into understanding these remarkable creatures. Rest in this knowledge. Let it settle softly as you continue to drift deeper and deeper toward peaceful sleep. As we move deeper into this peaceful exploration, allow yourself to become even more relaxed. Your body is heavy, your mind is quiet, and together we continue learning about these graceful beings who walk so softly through the natural world. Let us remember once more, grounding ourselves in this simple truth, that deer belong to the family Cervidae. We touched on this before, and it bears repeating, for it is the foundation of understanding these animals. Cervidae, the family that connects all deer across the world, from the smallest to the largest, from those in frozen tundra to those in temperate woodlands. This family name is like a thread, weaving through all the diversity we are discovering, holding it all together. When we say Cervidae, we speak of a lineage stretching back millions of years, of animals that have adapted to nearly every terrestrial environment on Earth except the most extreme. Cervidae, let the word settle in your mind, a family name, a classification that helps us see the connections in nature, the relationships between seemingly different creatures. All deer, members of this one family, Cervidae. Throughout most of their history, deer have remained wild, untamed creatures of forest and field. But there is one notable exception. Reindeer are the only widely domesticated deer species. For thousands of years, indigenous peoples of the Arctic and subarctic regions have kept reindeer herds, depending on them for transportation, for food, for hides and fur, for tools made from antlers and bones. The Sami people of northern Scandinavia, various groups across Siberia, they developed deep relationships with reindeer, learning to guide the herds to good grazing areas, protecting them from predators, selecting which animals to keep and which to use. These domesticated reindeer are still semi-wild in many ways. They're not like cattle confined to small pastures. Instead, they roam vast territories with their herders following. But they are accustomed to human presence, tolerant of being managed, and this makes reindeer unique among deer. Other species resist domestication. They remain fundamentally wild, but reindeer have walked alongside humans for millennia, a partnership forged in the far north, the only deer species to cross this threshold between wild and domestic. You are listening so peacefully. Your mind is open and receptive like the sky at dawn. Each breath you take brings you deeper into relaxation, deeper into comfort. You are doing so beautifully. There is no effort in this learning, only gentle awareness as you float towards sleep. From the largest domesticated deer, let us travel to the smallest deer in all the world. The smallest deer in the world is the southern poodoo, which can weigh about 20 pounds and stand around 14 inches tall. Imagine this tiny creature, no bigger than a house cat, a fully grown deer that you could cradle in your arms. The southern poodoo lives in the temperate rainforests of southern Chile and Argentina, moving through the dense bamboo thickets and undergrowth. Its small size is perfectly adapted for this environment, allowing it to slip through vegetation where larger animals cannot go, hiding in spaces too small for predators to follow. 20 pounds, about 9 kilograms, roughly the weight of a small dog. 14 inches tall at the shoulder, barely over 30 centimeters. These tiny deer have short legs, rounded bodies, and small, spike-like antlers on the males. Simple spikes rather than the branching antlers of larger species. They are shy, secretive, rarely seen, but they are there, in those southern forests, the smallest members of the family Cervidae. Proof that deer come in all sizes, that evolution finds solutions both large and small. At the opposite end of the spectrum, in the distant past, there lived the largest deer ever known. The extinct Irish elk was the largest known deer, with antlers that could reach about 12 feet across. 12 feet, nearly 4 meters, from tip to tip. Despite its name, the Irish elk was neither exclusively Irish nor truly an elk. It lived across much of Europe and Asia, and it was actually a giant deer, one of the most magnificent creatures of the Pleistocene. Imagine these enormous antlers, each one weighing perhaps 40 kilograms, 80 pounds of bone that the animal carried on its head. Males grew these massive antlers each year, shedding and regrowing them in an annual cycle just like modern deer, though the energy required must have been tremendous. The Irish elk stood about 7 feet tall at the shoulder, larger than the largest modern moose. They grazed in the grasslands and open woodlands of Ice Age Europe until roughly 7,700 years ago, when the last of them died. We know them now only from fossils, from skeletons preserved in peat bogs and caves. Those incredible antlers still spanning wide even in death. The largest deer ever to walk the earth, now gone, leaving us to wonder at their magnificence. Feel how heavy your body has become, how deeply relaxed you are. Your muscles are soft, your breathing is slow and gentle. You are absorbing these peaceful facts like earth absorbing rain, naturally, effortlessly. You are becoming more and more ready for deep, restorative sleep. In the social lives of deer, there is wonderful variety. We often think of male deer competing for multiple females, maintaining harems, but this is not true of all species. Some deer species, such as European roe deer, are monogamous. The roe deer, those graceful deer of European woodlands and farmlands, they form pair bonds. A male and female will stay together, defending a territory together, rather than the male seeking to mate with many females. This monogamy is relatively rare among deer, making the roe deer special in this regard. The pair will remain together through the mating season, and often their territories overlap year after year, so the same individuals may pair repeatedly. This creates a different social dynamic, more cooperation between male and female, less competition among males. The male still grows antlers, still marks territory, but he's defending a pair bond and a shared space rather than competing for a harem. Monogamy, partnership, another variation in the rich tapestry of deer behavior. Not all deer live the same way. Not all follow the same patterns, and the roe deer reminds us of this diversity. We have spoken before about antlers and their growth, but this fact deserves its own moment of wonder. Deer antlers are among the fastest growing tissues on Earth, growing very rapidly during the velvet stage. Among all animal tissues, among all biological growth processes, antler growth is extraordinary. During peak growth, antlers can grow 2 centimeters per day, sometimes even more. That's nearly an inch every single day. To fuel this growth, blood vessels in the velvet carry enormous amounts of nutrients, calcium, phosphorus, proteins, all rushing to build bone at this remarkable rate. A complete set of antlers, massive structures that can weigh many kilograms. These grow in just a few months, from small bumps in spring to full, branching antlers by late summer. The metabolic demand is intense. The deer must consume enough food to support both its body and this explosive growth. It's one of nature's most impressive demonstrations of biological productivity, tissue generation at a pace that seems almost impossible. And yet, every year, male deer accomplish this feat among the fastest growing tissues on Earth, a reminder of the power and potential held within living things. Your thoughts are becoming quieter now, like voices fading into the distance. You are so peaceful, so deeply calm. These gentle facts are like stepping stones across a quiet stream, leading you toward rest, toward sleep. You are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to do. Here is something mysterious, something scientists are still working to fully understand. When resting, deer may align their bodies north-south with Earth's magnetic field. Studies have observed deer in their resting places and found that they show a preference for lying down with their bodies oriented along the north-south axis. Not all the time, not every single deer, but statistically significantly more often than random chance would predict. Why might they do this? The truth is, we don't know for certain. Some researchers suggest it might relate to magnetoreception, the ability some animals have to sense Earth's magnetic field. The same sense that helps birds navigate during migration. Perhaps this alignment is more comfortable somehow. Perhaps it relates to some aspect of their biology we don't yet understand. Or perhaps it helps them maintain their sense of direction, keeping them oriented even while resting. The Earth's magnetic field is always there, invisible lines of force running from pole to pole, and deer may be sensitive to these lines. When they settle down to rest and chew their cud, they may turn themselves to align with this global pattern. A small mystery, a gentle reminder that there is still much to learn about even familiar animals. We learned earlier that deer can eat bark during difficult times, and this ability plays a crucial role in their survival. Deer can help their species survive harsh winters by eating bark when other food is scarce. When snow covers the ground, when the grass is buried and the leaves are gone from the trees, when even the dried plants of autumn are hidden away, deer turn to bark. They strip it from trees with their teeth, eating the cambium layer beneath, the living tissue of the tree. This bark provides calories and some nutrients, enough to keep deer alive when nothing else is available. It's not their preferred food, and eating bark can damage or even kill trees, but it is a survival strategy that works. Without this ability, many deer would starve during particularly long, harsh winters. The ability to eat bark, to broaden their diet in desperate times. This flexibility has allowed deer populations to persist in climates with severe winters. It's a backup plan written into their biology, a way to endure when the world becomes harsh and unyielding. Survival sometimes means being able to eat what you wouldn't normally choose, and deer have mastered this pragmatic approach. Allow yourself to sink even deeper. Your body is completely relaxed, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, heaviness and peace. These facts wash over you like gentle rain. You need not remember them all. Just let them flow. Let them carry you softly towards sleep. As deer and humans share landscapes, there are sometimes conflicts, sometimes dangers for both. In some places, deer are a major cause of vehicle collisions, making them a serious road hazard. As roads cut through deer habitat, as vehicles travel at high speeds through areas where deer live, collisions become inevitable. Deer, particularly during dawn and dusk when they are most active, step onto roadways. Perhaps they are crossing from one part of their territory to another. Perhaps they are fleeing from something. Perhaps the road simply lies in their path. A deer frozen in headlights. This is a common image. Their instinct to freeze when uncertain sometimes keeps them standing in the path of oncoming vehicles. Thousands of collisions occur each year in many countries. Damage to vehicles, injuries to humans, and death for the deer. In areas with high deer populations, warning signs alert drivers, and some regions have built wildlife crossings, bridges or tunnels that allow deer to cross safely above or below roadways. It's a challenge of modern life. These intersections between human infrastructure and wildlife movement. Deer are simply trying to live their lives, to move through their territories, but our roads create barriers and dangers they did not evolve to face. And finally, a fact that speaks to human management of deer populations. Some deer species are hunted from the air in parts of England under specific conditions. This might seem surprising, even jarring compared to our peaceful contemplation. But it is part of the reality of deer management. In some estates and parks in England, populations of certain deer species, particularly muntjac and Chinese water deer, which are not native to England, have grown so large that they cause significant damage to woodlands and agriculture. When ground-based management is insufficient or impractical in certain terrains, licensed professionals may conduct aerial culling, shooting from helicopters under strict regulations and specific circumstances. This is not sport hunting, but population management, an attempt to balance ecosystem health. It is controversial, debated, but it is practiced in certain limited situations. The relationship between humans and deer is complex. We admire them, study them, work to protect them in some contexts, yet also manage their numbers in others. It is neither simple nor comfortable, but it is part of the modern reality for many deer populations living in human-dominated landscapes. Breathe, just breathe, slowly and deeply. You are so relaxed now, so ready for sleep. Let everything else fall away. You are safe, you are comfortable. You are learning and releasing, learning and letting go. Let us gather these threads together, these 10 new understandings. We remembered that deer belong to the family Cervidae. We learned that reindeer alone among deer have been widely domesticated. We met the southern pudu, the smallest deer in the world at just 20 pounds and 14 inches tall, and we remembered the extinct Irish elk, the largest deer ever known with its 12-foot antler span. We discovered that some deer, like the roe deer, are monogamous, and we marveled again at antler growth, among the fastest-growing tissues on Earth. We learned the mysterious fact that deer may align themselves with Earth's magnetic field when resting, and we understood how eating bark helps them survive harsh winters. Finally, we faced the more difficult truths, that deer are a major cause of vehicle collisions in many areas, and that in some parts of England, deer are hunted from the air under specific management conditions. 10 more facts, 10 more pieces of the puzzle that is the deer's existence in our world. Rest now in this knowledge. Let it all settle like snow falling softly on a quiet landscape, and allow yourself to drift deeper, deeper, toward the peaceful sleep that awaits you. As we settle into this next passage of our journey, you are becoming more and more relaxed, your body heavy and still, your mind peaceful like a calm lake at twilight. Let us continue our gentle exploration of these remarkable creatures. We return once more to the foundation, to the simple truth that connects all these diverse animals. Deer belong to the family Cervidae. This fact grounds us, anchors us, as we explore so many different aspects of deer life. Cervidae, a family that encompasses such variety, from the deer that stand no higher than your knee to those that tower over a grown human. From the Arctic Circle to the southern forests of Chile. From the grasslands of Asia to the woodlands of Europe. All of them, Cervidae, When we classify living things, we create these family groupings to show relationship, to demonstrate shared ancestry, shared characteristics. Every deer we have discussed, every deer we will discuss, carries this family name. The moose browsing on willow, the poodoo hiding in bamboo thickets, the white-tailed deer bounding through North American forests, all cousins, all related, all cervidae. This family has existed for millions of years, adapting, diversifying, spreading across the world, and still they remain connected by this classification. Cervidae, let it echo softly in your mind. A family name, a biological truth. Among all these wild members of Cervidae, there is one that has walked a different path. Reindeer are the only widely domesticated deer species. While other deer flee from human approach, while they remain creatures of wilderness and wariness, reindeer have entered into partnership with people. For countless generations, in the frozen north where the sun disappears in winter and barely sets in summer, humans and reindeer have lived together. The herders follow the reindeer migrations or guide them gently toward better grazing, and the reindeer provide so much in return. Meat for food, hides for clothing and shelter, antlers and bones for tools, even transportation, pulling sleds across the snow. The relationship is ancient, respectful, born of mutual need in a harsh environment. No other deer species has formed this bond. Various peoples have tried to domesticate other deer, but only reindeer have truly accepted this role. They remain half wild in spirit. They still migrate vast distances, but they tolerate human presence in ways other deer do not. The only widely domesticated deer, a unique position among all of Cervidae. You are doing so well. Your breathing is deep and even like the breathing of someone already asleep, yet you can still hear these words, still absorb these peaceful facts. There is no tension in your body, no worry in your mind, only this gentle drift, this soft descent into rest. And now let us consider size once more, the remarkable range within this single family. The smallest deer in the world is the southern poodoo, which weighs about 20 pounds and stands around 14 inches tall. 20 pounds. Imagine holding this adult deer, this fully grown member of the family Cervidae, an animal so small it seems almost impossible. 14 inches at the shoulder, barely above your ankle if you were standing beside it. These miniature deer live in the temperate rainforests of Chile and Argentina, in areas of dense vegetation where being small is an advantage. They can hide easily, can move through thick undergrowth where predators struggle to follow, can find shelter in spaces that would never accommodate a larger deer. Their legs are short and sturdy, their bodies compact and rounded. The males grow tiny antlers, simple spikes just a few inches long. They live secretive lives, emerging mainly at dawn and dusk to feed on leaves, bark, ferns, and fallen fruit. Rarely seen by humans, shy and solitary. The southern poodoo represents one extreme of deer evolution. 20 pounds, a reminder that even within one family, nature explores every possibility, every size, every adaptation. At the other extreme, we find a ghost from the past. The extinct Irish elk was the largest known deer, and its antlers could reach about 12 feet across. 12 feet. Imagine standing beneath these antlers. You could stretch your arms out wide and not span their breadth. The Irish elk, despite its name, found across Europe, Asia, and northern Africa during the Pleistocene, carried these enormous antlers like crowns. The skeleton of a bull Irish elk is a sight of wonder, standing 7 feet at the shoulder, those massive palmate antlers spreading wide like the branches of a great tree. Each antler could weigh as much as 90 pounds, together a burden of perhaps 80 kilograms, and yet they grew them every year, shed them, grew them again. The energy required, the calcium and phosphorus drawn from their bodies, must have been immense. They lived in relatively open woodlands and grasslands, places where such large antlers wouldn't constantly catch on branches. But roughly 7,700 years ago, they vanished. Climate change, human hunting, competition with other species. The exact cause remains debated. Now we know them only from fossils, from peat bog remains, from cave paintings showing humans who actually saw these magnificent creatures. The largest deer ever known, now part of history, part of memory. Feel yourself sinking deeper still, deeper into whatever surface supports you. You are so heavy, so relaxed. These facts are like a gentle song, a lullaby carrying you towards sleep. You need not hold on to anything. Just listen. Just float. You are safe. You are peaceful. In the variety of deer social systems, we find many different arrangements. European roe deer are one of the deer species known to be monogamous. While many deer species feature males competing for access to multiple females, the roe deer follows a different pattern. Male and female roe deer pair together, establishing a territory they share and defend. The buck, the male, does not attempt to gather a harem. Instead, he invests his energy in protecting a territory suitable for his mate, for the fawns she will bear. This pair bond may last throughout the breeding season, and in some cases, the same individuals pair together year after year in overlapping territories. This monogamous system creates different behaviors, different social dynamics. The males still grow antlers, still engage in territorial disputes with other males, but they're defending a pair bond rather than trying to monopolize many females. The doe and buck may be seen together frequently, coordinating their movements, sharing their space. Monogamy is relatively rare among deer, but the roe deer demonstrates that it is a viable strategy, another variation in the endless adaptability of the family cervidae. We have marveled before at the growth of antlers, but let us consider this wonder once more with fresh appreciation. Deer antlers are the fastest growing tissue on Earth during the velvet stage. The fastest among all living things, among all biological growth processes. Nothing matches the speed of antler development. During peak growth in late spring and early summer, antlers can add 2 centimeters or more to their length every single day. That's nearly an inch every 24 hours. The velvet covering, soft and delicate, is actually a complex organ filled with blood vessels, nerves, and living cells, all working to build bone at this extraordinary rate. The deer's entire metabolism shifts to support this growth, consuming enormous amounts of protein, calcium, and phosphorus, from tiny buds in spring to full branching structures by late summer, all in just a few months. A bull elk might grow antlers weighing 40 pounds in 100 days. A moose might add even more mass. It is biological engineering on a spectacular scale, a demonstration of what living tissue can accomplish given the right conditions and evolutionary pressure. The fastest growing tissue on Earth, nature pushing the boundaries of what seems possible. Your eyelids are so heavy, perhaps they are already closed. Perhaps you are already dreaming, and yet these words still reach you, still flow through your consciousness like water through smooth stones. You are so deeply relaxed, so ready for sleep. Continue to let go. Continue to drift. Here is a mystery, a behavior that scientists observe but do not fully understand. Deer often align their bodies north-south with Earth's magnetic field while resting. When deer settle down to chew their cud, when they bed down to sleep, they show a statistically significant tendency to orient themselves along the north-south axis. Not always, not every deer every time, but often enough that it cannot be mere chance. Researchers have documented this in multiple deer species across different continents, analyzing thousands of observations. The deer lie down with their bodies pointing north or south, parallel to the invisible lines of magnetic force that wrap around our planet. But why? Perhaps deer possess magnetoreception, the ability to sense Earth's magnetic field, the same ability that helps birds navigate thousands of miles during migration. Perhaps this alignment is somehow more comfortable. Perhaps it relates to their sense of direction and spatial awareness. Or perhaps there is some other benefit we have not yet identified. The Earth's magnetic field is always present, flowing from the magnetic North Pole to the South Pole, and deer seem attuned to it. A small behavior, a subtle pattern, a reminder that animals perceive the world in ways we are still working to understand. Now let us return to the subject of deer expanding their diet, eating what they must to survive. Deer have been documented eating birds and bird eggs in some cases. Yes, these herbivores, these browsers and grazers, will sometimes consume birds. Perhaps a deer finds a nest on the ground, filled with eggs, and the deer eats them, shell and all, gaining valuable protein and calcium. Perhaps a bird is injured or has died, and a deer comes across it, and rather than pass by, the deer consumes this unexpected source of nutrition. This behavior has been captured on camera, documented by researchers, and while it is not common, it is real. Deer eating birds, deer eating eggs, deer being more omnivorous than we might expect. This often happens when the deer's body is demanding certain nutrients, particularly during antler growth when calcium requirements are high, or in early spring when females are pregnant and need additional protein. They are not predators. They do not hunt. But when opportunity presents itself and their body needs nutrients, they will eat meat. It contradicts our image of deer as gentle vegetarians, but nature is pragmatic, and deer, like all animals, do what they must to survive and reproduce. You are absorbing everything so peacefully. Your mind is quiet. Your body is still. You are like a leaf floating on a calm pond, drifting, turning slowly, moving gently toward the shore of sleep. You are doing beautifully. There is no effort, only peace. As human development spreads, as roads cut through more and more wild areas, deer and vehicles increasingly come into conflict. Deer can be a major cause of vehicle collisions in some regions. In areas with high deer populations, thousands of collisions occur each year. Deer crossing roads at dawn or dusk, drivers unable to stop in time. The results are often tragic for both deer and humans. The deer may be moving between parts of their territory, crossing from forest to feeding area, following paths their ancestors used for generations, not understanding that a road now exists where there was once only forest floor. When headlights strike them, some deer freeze, their instincts failing them in this modern context. The collision damages vehicles, injures or kills people, and almost always kills the deer. Some regions have tried various solutions, wildlife crossing structures that allow deer to pass over or under highways, warning signs alerting drivers to slow down in areas of high deer activity, fencing to direct deer towards safe crossing points. It is a challenge without easy answers. The intersection of wild animal behavior and human infrastructure, of ancient migration routes and modern transportation. The deer are not at fault. They are simply trying to live, but the danger is real and serious in many areas. Finally, let us clarify something about how humans manage deer populations in certain places. In England, deer may be shot from an aircraft only under specific conditions, such as when it is not moving or the engine is off. This is a very specific regulation, controlling when and how aerial shooting can occur. The aircraft must be stationary, either landed or with its engine turned off, before shooting can take place. This means shooting from a hovering helicopter is not permitted under these regulations. The aircraft must be still and stable. These rules are designed to ensure safety and prevent indiscriminate shooting. Aerial deer management in England is rare and highly regulated, used only in specific circumstances where other management methods have proven insufficient, and where population control is deemed necessary for environmental or agricultural reasons. The rules are strict, the licensing is rigorous, and the practice remains controversial. It represents the complex reality of deer management in a modern, densely populated country, where wild animals and human interests sometimes conflict, and where decisions must be made about how to maintain balance. Breathe deeply, slowly. You are so close to sleep now, so deeply relaxed. Let these final thoughts settle over you like a soft blanket. You have learned so much, absorbed so much, and now you can simply rest. Let us gather together what we have revisited and deepened in this segment. We return to the foundation, that deer belong to the family Cervidae, and remembered that reindeer are the only widely domesticated deer species. We contemplated again the southern poodoo, the smallest deer at 20 pounds and 14 inches tall, and the extinct Irish elk, the largest deer ever known with antlers spanning 12 feet. We learned once more that European roe deer are monogamous, and marveled again at deer antlers being the fastest growing tissue on Earth. We considered the mystery of deer aligning their bodies with Earth's magnetic field when resting, and discovered the surprising fact that deer have been documented eating birds and bird eggs. We acknowledged again that deer can be a major cause of vehicle collisions, and we understood the specific conditions under which deer may be shot from aircraft in England, only when the aircraft is not moving or the engine is off. 10 facts revisited, 10 understandings deepened, another layer of knowledge settling softly into place. Rest now, rest deeply. Let everything we have learned together cradle you gently as you drift away into peaceful, restorative sleep. As you rest here, breathing slowly, deeply, let us continue this gentle journey together, exploring more about these graceful creatures, allowing each fact to wash over you like a soft wave, carrying you deeper into relaxation, deeper into peace. When we think about where deer live, where they have spread across our planet, we discover something remarkable. Deer are found almost everywhere in the world except Antarctica and Australia. Almost everywhere. Think about that for a moment. Across North America, from the Arctic tundra where caribou roam to the southern forests of Mexico. Throughout Europe, from the Mediterranean shores to the Scandinavian north. Across Asia, that vast continent with its deserts and mountains and forests, deer have found their niches. South America holds deer species in its rainforests and grasslands. Even Africa, though many people don't associate deer with Africa, there are deer there too. Island nations, mainland continents, from sea level to high mountain elevations, deer have adapted and thrived. But not Antarctica. That frozen continent is too harsh, too barren. No vegetation for browsing, no shelter from the endless ice. And not Australia. That island continent developed its own unique mammals, marsupials rather than placental mammals like deer, and deer never naturally colonized there, though some species have been introduced by humans in more recent times. But nearly everywhere else, deer have made their home, a testament to their adaptability, their resilience, their ability to thrive in diverse environments. Let us consider the very structure of a deer's foot, the foundation upon which they walk and run. Deer are two-toed hoofed mammals, which makes them part of the ungulate group. Ungulate, a word that means hoofed animal, from the Latin ungula meaning hoof or claw, but not all ungulates are the same. Horses, for instance, have a single hoof on each foot. Deer have two toes, two main digits that bear their weight, each encased in a hard keratin hoof. If you were to look at a deer's track in soft mud or snow, you would see two crescents side by side, the mark of those two hooves. These are actually modified toenails, evolved over millions of years into these hard, durable structures. Behind the main hooves, higher up on the leg, deer also have two smaller toes called dew claws. These rarely touch the ground except in soft substrate or when the deer is running or jumping. Two-toed. This makes them even-toed ungulates, the group called Artiodactyla. Pigs are in this group, sheep and goats, cattle, all even-toed ungulates, and deer, walking on two toes on each foot, part of this ancient lineage of hoofed mammals. You are doing so well. Your body is so relaxed now, heavy and still. Each breath carries you deeper into tranquility. There is no effort required, just listening, just floating, just allowing yourself to drift on these gentle words like a boat on a calm sea. We have touched before on the deer's vision, but let us explore this more fully. Deer have a wide field of vision, with eyes placed toward the sides of their heads. This eye placement is characteristic of prey animals, animals that must watch constantly for danger. Unlike predators, whose eyes face forward to judge distances when hunting, deer need to see as much of their surroundings as possible. With eyes on the sides of the head, a deer can see almost 310 degrees around itself, nearly a complete circle. They can watch for predators approaching from the side, from behind, while their head is down grazing. Only a small area directly behind them, perhaps 50 degrees, is truly a blind spot, and even this can be covered by a slight turn of the head. This panoramic vision comes with a trade-off. Deer do not have the same depth perception that forward-facing eyes provide. But for their survival needs, a wide field of view is far more valuable. They can detect movement across a vast area, can stay alert to danger while feeding, while resting. Their eyes, positioned just so, scanning the world, always watching, always aware, and complementing their excellent vision. Their hearing is equally impressive. Deer ears can turn in different directions to help locate sounds without moving their heads. Watch a deer when it is alert, and you will see those large, mobile ears swiveling independently. One ear might face forward, while the other rotates backward, or both ears might focus on the same sound, pinpointing its location with precision. Each ear is controlled by multiple muscles, allowing rotation through nearly 180 degrees. The ears are shaped like parabolic dishes, curved to gather sound waves and funnel them into the ear canal. This independent movement means a deer can monitor sounds from multiple directions simultaneously, creating a detailed acoustic map of its surroundings. The rustle of leaves behind them, the snap of a twig to the left, the call of another deer ahead, all processed at once without moving the head and potentially alerting whatever made the sound. These rotating ears, constantly adjusting, constantly listening, are one of the deer's most important early warning systems. Nature has designed them perfectly for a life where vigilance means survival. Feel yourself sinking deeper, your muscles loose and relaxed, your breathing slow and steady. You are absorbing these peaceful facts so beautifully, like earth absorbing gentle rain. There is nowhere else to be, nothing else to do, just this moment, just this soft journey into knowledge and rest. Even small features of a deer's anatomy serve important purposes. A deer's tail can be about 11 to 14 inches long and has a white underside. 11 to 14 inches. That's roughly 28 to 36 centimeters. A significant length. Different deer species have different tail characteristics, but many, like the white-tailed deer of North America, have tails with this distinctive white underside. When the deer is relaxed, walking calmly, the tail hangs down and you see mostly the brown or tan upper surface. But when alarmed, when a deer detects danger, it raises its tail high, and that white underside flashes like a flag. This is called flagging, a visual signal to other deer. Says, danger, I've seen something, be alert. A mother deer running from a threat with her tail raised. The white flag helps her fawns follow her through dense brush. A beacon they can track even when vegetation obscures her body. The tail, something we might overlook, actually serves as a communication device, a warning system for the herd. 11 to 14 inches of fur and flesh, white underneath, a simple structure with an important function. When fawns are born, they come into the world with a particular appearance that aids their survival. Fawns are usually reddish-brown with white spots, which helps camouflage them. That reddish-brown coat, somewhere between tan and russet, matches perfectly with the forest floor, with dried leaves, with sun-dappled earth, and those white spots, seemingly random, they break up the fawn's outline. When sunlight filters through the forest canopy, creating patches of light and shadow on the ground, a spotted fawn lying still becomes nearly invisible. The pattern disrupts the eye's ability to recognize the fawn's shape, to distinguish it from its surroundings. This camouflage is critical in the first weeks of life, when the fawn is too young to run effectively, when its best defense is to lie absolutely still while its mother forages nearby. Predators may pass within meters, seeing nothing but forest floor. As the fawn grows older, becomes more mobile, better able to run and escape, the spots gradually fade. By its first winter, the fawn's coat will be more uniform in color, the spots gone. But in those vulnerable early weeks, reddish-brown with white spots, nature's camouflage, a pattern designed for survival. Your eyelids are so heavy now, perhaps closed already. Your whole body has surrendered to relaxation. You are like water, flowing, formless, peaceful. These facts drift through your mind like clouds across a twilight sky. You need not hold them, just experience them. Just let them carry you deeper into rest. The physical capabilities of deer are truly impressive. Deer can reach speeds of up to about 35 miles per hour. 35 miles per hour. That's roughly 56 kilometers per hour. Faster than most humans can bicycle. Faster than most people can imagine running. When a deer is startled, when it detects a threat, those powerful leg muscles explode into action. From standing still to full sprint in just seconds, bounding away from danger. They don't just run in straight lines either. Deer can change direction instantly, leaping left, then right, making it difficult for predators to predict their path. This speed can be maintained for considerable distances. A deer can run flat out for several miles if necessary, though usually just a few hundred meters is enough to reach safety. Imagine that power, that speed, all contained in a body that appears so graceful and delicate. 35 miles per hour, the wind rushing past, hooves thundering against the earth, escape in motion. It's a speed born of necessity, of millions of years of evolutionary pressure, of survival going to the swiftest. And if speed is impressive, their jumping ability is equally so. Deer can jump up to about 10 feet high. 10 feet, 3 meters, taller than most ceilings in a house. From a standing position, or with just a few running steps, a deer can clear obstacles that seem impossibly high. Fences meant to keep them out of gardens. Deer sail over them with apparent ease. And it's not just height. Deer can also jump remarkable distances, 15 feet or more in length from a standing position. This jumping ability serves multiple purposes. Escaping predators certainly, leaping over fallen trees and other obstacles while running through forests, crossing streams and gullies. Those powerful hind legs, extending fully, launching the deer into the air, forelegs tucked, then extending to absorb the landing. It appears effortless, graceful, like flight. 10 feet high. Imagine standing next to a deer, this relatively small animal, and watching it jump to a height 3 times taller than itself. The power-to-weight ratio required for such a feat, the muscle strength, the coordination, all working together in an instant of explosive movement. You are so peaceful now, so deeply calm. Your mind is quiet like a forest at dawn, still and serene. You have learned so much, absorbed so much, and you are drifting now, drifting toward the gentle shores of sleep, perfectly relaxed, perfectly at peace. In the relationship between humans and deer, there are certain times of year that present particular challenges. Deer are often most troublesome for damage control between July and September. During these late summer months, deer behavior creates conflicts with human agriculture and gardens. Why this particular time? In July, August, and September, many crops are ripening, gardens are producing, and deer find these cultivated areas particularly attractive. The vegetables and fruits we grow, corn, beans, tomatoes, apples, these are highly nutritious and appealing to deer. At the same time, this is when bucks are growing their antlers, covered in velvet, and they rub against trees and shrubs, including ornamental plantings, damaging them. Does with fawns are eating heavily to support nursing and to prepare for the coming winter. Food requirements are high across the deer population during these months, so they venture more frequently into areas where humans have concentrated nutritious plants. Our gardens, our farms, our orchards. The damage can be significant. Entire crops consumed in a night, young trees destroyed by antler rubbing. July to September, the peak months for deer-related damage, a time when wildlife managers and property owners must be most vigilant. Finally, let us consider the reproduction of deer, the bringing of new life into the world. Deer can have litters of 1 to 3 fawns after a gestation period of about 200 days. 200 days, roughly 6.5 to 7 months, the time from conception to birth. Most commonly, does female deer give birth to 1 or 2 fawns, though 3 is possible, especially in areas with excellent nutrition. First-time mothers usually have just 1 fawn, their bodies still maturing, not yet at peak condition. Older, experienced does in good health might have twins or even triplets. The births typically occur in late spring or early summer, May or June in the Northern Hemisphere, timing that ensures the fawns are born when food is abundant, when warm weather gives them the best chance of survival. Those first few months of growth are critical. The fawns must gain enough size and strength to survive the coming winter. 200 days of development, protected within the mother, then born into the world, wet and wobbly, but within hours able to stand, to nurse, to begin life. 1 to 3 fawns, new generations, the continuation of the species, the ancient cycle of birth and growth playing out again and again. Breathe deeply, slowly. You are so close to sleep now, so ready to rest. Let these final moments of learning wash over you, settle over you like a soft blanket. You are safe. You are comfortable. You are exactly where you should be. Let us gather what we have discovered in this peaceful segment. We learned that deer are found almost everywhere in the world except Antarctica and Australia, that they are two-toed hoofed mammals, making them part of the ungulate group. We explored their wide field of vision, eyes placed toward the sides of their heads to watch for danger, and their remarkable ears that can turn in different directions to locate sounds. We learned that a deer's tail can be 11 to 14 inches long with a white underside used for signaling, and that fawns are reddish-brown with white spots for camouflage. We discovered that deer can reach speeds of up to 35 miles per hour and can jump up to about 10 feet high. We learned that deer are often most troublesome for damage control between July and September, and that deer can have litters of 1 to 3 fawns after a gestation period of about 200 days. 10 more gentle truths, 10 more pieces of understanding, settling softly into your consciousness. Rest now, rest deeply, let everything fall away, and drift into peaceful, restorative sleep. As we drift deeper into this peaceful exploration, your body completely relaxed, your mind growing quieter with each breath, let us continue learning about these gentle creatures, allowing each fact to settle softly, like snow falling on a winter evening. When we speak of deer as a whole, of all the deer that walk the earth, we might wonder about their variety. There are about 40 species of deer, 40 distinct species, though as we've learned before, some scientists count differently. Some estimates go higher depending on how subspecies are classified. But 40 is a useful number to hold in mind. 40 different ways of being a deer. Each species adapted to its particular environment, its particular challenges. The white-tailed deer of North America, the red deer of Europe, the sika deer of Asia, the marsh deer of South America, the somber of the Indian subcontinent. 40 species, some thriving in mountains, others in wetlands, some in deep forests, others in open grasslands. Some are tiny, barely larger than a dog. Others tower over humans. Some have simple spike antlers. Others grow elaborate branching crowns. 40 species, and yet all connected, all sharing fundamental characteristics that make them deer. 40 variations on a theme, 40 expressions of the same basic design, spread across the world in a beautiful tapestry of diversity. And what connects all these diverse species? What makes them all deer despite their differences? Deer are part of the Cervidae family. We return again to this foundation, this family name that binds them together. Cervidae, whether we count 40 species or 90, whether we're speaking of the smallest poodoo or the extinct giant Irish elk, they all belong to this family. In the science of classification, family is an important level of organization. It sits above genus and species, grouping together creatures that share a common ancestor, that share fundamental characteristics. All members of Cervidae are ruminants with four-chambered stomachs. Most grow antlers rather than horns. All are herbivores primarily, though as we've learned, they can be opportunistic omnivores. Cervidae, a family that has existed for millions of years, that has diversified and spread, but remains connected by ancestry and biology. When we say a deer belongs to Cervidae, we place it in context. We show its relationships to other living things. We honor the deep time of evolution that shaped it. You are doing so beautifully. Your breathing is slow and deep, like ocean waves rolling gently onto shore. Your mind is peaceful, absorbing these facts without effort, like a garden absorbing morning dew. You are perfectly relaxed, perfectly at peace. Continue to let go. Continue to drift. Among all these wild deer species, one has entered into a unique relationship with humans. Reindeer are the only widely domesticated deer species. Through thousands of years, in the harsh Arctic and subarctic regions, humans and reindeer have formed a partnership. The Sami people of northern Europe, the Nenets and Evenki of Siberia, the Tsaten of Mongolia, all have herded reindeer, depending on them for survival. The reindeer provide meat, milk, hides for clothing and shelter, antlers and bones for tools and transportation, pulling sleds across vast snowy expanses. In return, humans guide the herds to good grazing areas, protect them from predators, and manage their movement across the landscape. This is true domestication. Though reindeer remain semi-wild in their nature, still migrating long distances, still retaining many wild behaviors, but they tolerate human presence in ways other deer do not. They can be herded, handled, even trained to pull sleds or carry packs. No other deer species has crossed this threshold. Various attempts have been made with elk, with red deer, but only reindeer have truly become domestic animals. The only widely domesticated deer, a testament to both their adaptability and to the deep relationship between species that can form when necessity and opportunity meet. Now let us journey to the forests of South America to meet one of the smallest members of the deer family. The southern pudu is one of the smallest deer species, at about 14 inches tall. 14 inches at the shoulder, roughly 36 centimeters. No taller than a ruler is long. These diminutive deer live in the temperate rainforests of Chile and Argentina, in areas thick with bamboo and dense undergrowth. Their small size is perfectly suited to this environment. They can slip through vegetation that would block larger animals, can hide in spaces too small for predators to enter. They have short, sturdy legs, compact, rounded bodies, and the males grow simple spike antlers only a few inches long. Their coat is reddish-brown to dark-brown to thick to protect against the cool, wet climate of their forest home. Southern pudus are shy and secretive, most active at dawn and dusk, feeding on leaves, bark, ferns, and fallen fruit. They are usually solitary, coming together only to mate. 14 inches tall. A deer you could almost hold in your arms. Another reminder of the incredible size range within Cervidae, from this tiny forest dweller to the giants we'll consider next. Feel how heavy your body has become, how deeply you have sunk into relaxation. Your muscles are soft, your thoughts are quiet, like whispers fading into silence. You are absorbing these peaceful facts so effortlessly, so naturally. There is no strain, no effort, only this gentle drift, this soft descent towards sleep. At the opposite end of the size spectrum, we find a magnificent creature from the ancient past. The extinct Irish elk was the largest known deer and had antlers up to about 12 feet across. 12 feet, nearly 4 meters, from tip to tip. If such a creature stood before you, those antlers would span wider than most rooms. The Irish elk, Megaloceros giganteus, lived during the Pleistocene epoch, roaming across Europe, northern Asia, and northern Africa. They stood about 7 feet tall at the shoulder, larger than the largest modern moose. Their antlers were not just wide but massive in structure, broad and palmate, shaped somewhat like giant hands with fingers spread wide. Each antler could weigh up to 90 pounds. Together, a tremendous burden of bone grown new each year. The energy expenditure, the minerals required from the environment, must have been enormous. These magnificent creatures grazed in the open woodlands and grasslands of Ice Age Europe until roughly 7,700 years ago, when the last populations died out. We know them now from fossils, from skeletons preserved in Irish peat bogs, from cave paintings showing they coexisted with early humans. The largest deer that ever lived, now only a memory, a ghost of the Pleistocene, but what a magnificent memory they left behind. In the social arrangements of deer, we find fascinating variety in mating systems. European roe deer are known to be monogamous. Unlike many deer species where males compete to mate with multiple females, where dominant stags gather harems, roe deer form pair bonds. A male and female establish a shared territory, defending it together, remaining together through the breeding season. The buck invests his energy not in competing for access to many does, but in protecting and providing for one mate and her offspring. This creates a different dynamic, more cooperation between male and female, less intense competition between males, though territorial disputes still occur. These pair bonds can reform year after year, the same individuals coming together in the same territory, a kind of seasonal fidelity. The roe deer of European woodlands and farmlands, smaller and more delicate than red deer, have chosen this different path. Monogamy in a family where polygyny, one male mating with multiple females, is the more common pattern. It reminds us that even within one family, nature experiments with different social structures, different reproductive strategies, finding what works in each particular context. Your mind is so quiet now, so still, like a forest pool reflecting the sky. These facts ripple across the surface, gentle ripples that help you sink deeper, deeper into the water of sleep. You are so peaceful, so calm. Everything is exactly as it should be. You are exactly where you need to be. One of the most remarkable biological processes in the animal kingdom occurs in deer each spring and summer. Deer antlers are among the fastest growing tissues on Earth during the velvet stage. Among all living things, among all the ways that life builds tissue and structure, antler growth stands out as extraordinary. During peak growing season, antlers can add 2 centimeters per day, sometimes even more, nearly an inch of bone. Every single day, the velvet covering, soft and fuzzy, is actually a complex living organ, densely packed with blood vessels carrying nutrients and oxygen, nerves that make the growing antlers sensitive to touch. Beneath this velvet, bone is being laid down at an astonishing rate. The deer's entire metabolism shifts to support this growth, requiring enormous amounts of protein, calcium, phosphorus. From tiny bumps on the skull in spring to full-sized branching antlers by late summer, all in the span of just a few months. A bull elk might grow 40 pounds of antler in 100 days. The biological machinery required for such rapid growth, the cellular activity, the blood flow, it represents one of nature's most impressive displays of tissue production. Among the fastest growing tissues on Earth, a yearly miracle occurring on the heads of deer. Here is one of the more mysterious behaviors that scientists have observed in deer. Deer may align their bodies north-south with Earth's magnetic field while resting. When deer lie down to rest, to chew their cud, to sleep, researchers have documented a tendency for them to orient their bodies along the north-south magnetic axis. This isn't absolute, not every deer every time, but statistical analysis of thousands of observations shows a significant preference. The deer lies down with its body pointing toward magnetic north or magnetic south, aligned with the invisible field that wraps around our planet. Why would they do this? The honest answer is we don't fully know. Perhaps deer possess magnetoreception, the ability to sense magnetic fields, similar to the sense that helps birds navigate during migration. Perhaps this alignment provides some benefit we haven't yet understood, some comfort, some aid to their spatial awareness or sense of direction. Or perhaps there's an entirely different explanation waiting to be discovered. The Earth's magnetic field is always present, flowing from pole to pole, and deer seem attuned to it in some way. A small mystery, a gentle puzzle, a reminder that even familiar animals hold secrets we are still uncovering. You are so deeply relaxed now. Your whole being is at peace. Your body has surrendered to comfort. Your mind is drifting like a leaf on a gentle breeze. These facts float through your awareness, soft and undemanding. You need not remember them all. Just let them carry you deeper, deeper, toward the rest you deserve. We think of deer as herbivores, as plant eaters, and this is true, but their diet can be more varied than we might expect. Deer have been observed eating birds and bird eggs in some cases. This surprises many people. The image of a deer consuming animal matter seems to contradict everything we think we know. But it happens. A deer might find a bird's nest on the ground, filled with eggs, and eat them, shell and all. Or a deer might come across a dead or injured bird and consume it. Trail cameras and researchers have documented this behavior across different deer species. The deer are not hunting, not stalking prey, but when opportunity presents itself and their body needs certain nutrients, particularly protein and minerals like calcium, they will eat meat. This often occurs during periods of high nutritional demand, when bucks are growing antlers, when does are pregnant or nursing, when spring has not yet brought abundant green growth. Birds and eggs provide concentrated nutrition, easy calories and minerals. It's opportunistic omnivory, a flexibility in diet that helps deer survive in varying conditions. Not common, not their preference, but real nonetheless. Deer eating birds, nature's pragmatism in action. And this leads to a broader truth about deer nutrition. Deer can occasionally eat meat when certain minerals are scarce. The eating of birds and eggs is part of this pattern. But deer have also been observed eating small mammals, gnawing on bones left by predators, even consuming fish that have washed up on shores. The common thread is mineral acquisition, particularly calcium and phosphorus. Growing antlers requires tremendous amounts of these minerals, more than the deer can always obtain from plants alone. Pregnancy and nursing also create high mineral demands. So deer adapt. They supplement their primarily herbivorous diet with animal matter when it's available and needed. This behavior is more common in spring and early summer, the time of antler growth and fawn rearing. A deer might chew on shed antlers from previous years or on bones, extracting every bit of mineral content. They might eat the soil at mineral licks, seeking salt and other trace elements. And yes, occasionally they eat meat when certain minerals are scarce, when their bodies demand more than plants provide. Deer find ways to meet their needs. Flexibility, adaptability, the willingness to eat what is necessary rather than only what is preferred. This is part of how deer have succeeded across so many different environments. Breathe slowly, deeply. You are so close to complete relaxation now, so ready for sleep to take you. Let these final thoughts settle like dust after a long journey. You have learned so much, absorbed so much peaceful knowledge, and now you can simply rest, simply be. Let us gather the threads of this segment together, weaving them into understanding. We learned that there are about 40 species of deer, all part of the Cervidae family that connects them across their diversity. We remembered that reindeer are the only widely domesticated deer species, and we met again the southern poodoo, one of the smallest deer at 14 inches tall. We recalled the extinct Irish elk, the largest deer ever known with antlers up to 12 feet across, and learned again that European roe deer are monogamous. We marveled once more at deer antlers being among the fastest growing tissues on Earth, and pondered the mystery of deer aligning their bodies with Earth's magnetic field while resting. Finally, we discovered that deer have been observed eating birds and bird eggs, and more broadly, that deer can occasionally eat meat when certain minerals are scarce. 10 more gentle truths, 10 more insights, settling softly into the tapestry of your understanding. Rest now, deeply, completely. Let everything fall away and surrender. Surrender to the peaceful sleep that calls you, that welcomes you, that wraps around you like the softest blanket. Drift away into dreams. As we continue our gentle journey through the world of deer, your body resting deeply, your mind growing quieter with each passing moment, let us discover more about these remarkable creatures, allowing knowledge to flow over you like a warm, peaceful stream. When we speak of deer, we might simply say a deer, but there are more specific names depending on what we're describing. Male deer are commonly called bucks, stags, or bulls depending on species and region. These different names carry tradition, history, regional preference. In North America, we typically call male deer bucks. A white-tailed deer male is a buck. A mule deer male is a buck. The word feels crisp and clear. Buck. In Europe and parts of Asia, particularly for red deer and some other species, the males are called stags, a word that carries a sense of nobility, of ancient forests and royal hunts. Stag, the great stag of the woodland, and for the largest deer species, moose, elk, and reindeer, we often use the term bull, borrowed from cattle terminology but fitting for these massive animals. Bull moose, bull elk, powerful creatures deserving of a powerful name. Buck, stag, or bull, 3 names for the male of the species, each with its own connotations, its own history, but all referring to the same thing, the males of the family Cervidae. And what of the females? Female deer are called does, hinds, or cows depending on species. Again, we see this pattern of different names for different contexts. In North America, female deer are typically does, a gentle, soft word that seems to fit these graceful animals. A doe and her fawns, the doe watching from the forest edge. In Europe, particularly for red deer, the females are often called hinds, a word that appears in old poetry and literature. The hind in the wood. It carries a sense of wildness, of creatures that have always lived just beyond human reach. And for the largest species, moose, elk, and reindeer, we use cow, paralleling the use of bull for males. A cow moose with her calf, a cow elk in the meadow. Does, hinds, or cows, 3 names woven through different languages and traditions, all describing the female deer who birth and raise the next generation. You are listening so peacefully, your breath flowing in and out like gentle tides. Your body is heavy and relaxed, sinking deeper into comfort with each moment. You are doing so well. There is no effort here, only peace, only this soft drift towards sleep. Allow yourself to let go completely. As seasons change, as summer warmth gives way to autumn chill, Deer undergo a transformation to prepare for winter. Many deer species grow a thicker, grayer winter coat by molting in autumn to conserve heat. Molting, the natural shedding of old fur and growth of new, happens twice a year for most deer. In spring, they shed their thick winter coat and grow a thinner, reddish-brown summer coat, sleek and light for warm weather. But in autumn, as days shorten and temperatures drop, they molt again. The summer coat is shed, and the winter coat grows in. This winter coat is remarkable. Each hair is hollow, filled with air pockets that provide insulation, trapping warmth close to the deer's body. The color often shifts too, becoming grayer, duller, less vibrant than the reddish summer coat. This grayer color provides better camouflage against winter landscapes, against gray tree trunks and snow. The coat grows thicker too, denser, sometimes nearly twice as thick as the summer coat. With this winter coat fully grown, deer can withstand temperatures far below freezing, can sleep in the snow without losing dangerous amounts of body heat. Nature's preparation, the yearly cycle of molting, ensuring deer are dressed appropriately for each season's demands. Deer may seem like silent, solitary creatures, but they actually have rich communication systems. Deer communicate with each other using scent markings, vocalizations like grunts or bleats, and body language. Let us consider scent first. Deer have multiple scent glands. On their foreheads, near their eyes, on their legs, between their hooves. They rub these glands on vegetation, on trees, on the ground, leaving chemical messages for other deer. These scents convey information about identity, reproductive status, territory, even emotional state. A deer walking through the forest reads these scent marks constantly, gathering information about who has passed this way, when, and what they were doing. Vocalizations too. Deer are not silent. Does call to their fawns with soft bleats. Fawns bleat back to their mothers. Bucks grunt during the rut, making sounds that advertise their presence and dominance. When alarmed, deer sometimes make a loud snort or whistle, a warning to others. And body language, the position of the ears, the height of the tail, the stance of the body, all communicate meaning. A relaxed deer has ears in neutral position, tail down, movements calm. An alert deer has ears forward, body tense, every muscle ready. Communication through scent, sound, and sight. Deer are constantly sending and receiving messages, engaged in ongoing conversations we can barely perceive. Feel yourself drifting deeper now, deeper into relaxation. Your mind is quiet like a still pond at dawn. These facts ripple gently across the surface, helping you sink, helping you float. There is no tension anywhere in your body. You are perfectly safe, perfectly calm, continuing your gentle descent into peaceful sleep. The social lives of deer vary greatly between species, between seasons, between environments. Some deer species form small family groups, does with fawns, while others form larger herds, especially in winter. White-tailed deer, for example, often live in small groups, a doe with her fawns from this year, sometimes her female offspring from last year as well. These family groups maintain loose territories, overlapping with other family groups but maintaining their small social unit. Bucks may be solitary or form small bachelor groups outside of breeding season. But other species live quite differently. Caribou, reindeer form massive herds, sometimes tens of thousands of individuals moving together in great migrations. Red deer gather in larger groups, particularly in winter when they come down from summer ranges to lower elevations. Even normally solitary species often form larger aggregations in winter, coming together in yards or wintering areas where food is accessible and the group provides some protection from predators. There's safety in numbers, many eyes watching for danger, many ears listening. But there's also competition for food, for the best spots. Different species, different individuals balance these factors differently. From solitary wanderers to members of vast herds, deer demonstrate the full spectrum of social organization, each strategy adapted to particular circumstances. Beyond their intrinsic value as living beings, deer play crucial roles in their ecosystems. Deer play important ecological roles by shaping plant communities through browsing, which influences forest regeneration. Every bite a deer takes, every twig browsed, every sapling eaten influences which plants thrive and which struggle. In forests, deer browsing pressure can determine which tree species successfully regenerate. If deer heavily browse oak saplings but avoid thorny shrubs, over time the forest composition shifts. Some plants have evolved defenses against deer browsing: thorns, toxic compounds, unpalatable flavors. Others rely on producing more seedlings than deer can possibly consume. A numbers game. In areas with very high deer populations, intense browsing can prevent forest regeneration entirely, creating a park-like understory with little vegetation below browse height. In areas with moderate deer populations, selective browsing creates diversity, opening space for some plants, allowing light to reach others. Deer also spread seeds, both in their droppings and carried on their fur. They create trails through forests, opening paths that other animals use. Their presence, their feeding, their movement through the landscape all shape the plant communities around them, making deer not just inhabitants of ecosystems but architects of them. Your breathing is so slow now, so deep and peaceful. Each breath takes you further into relaxation, further into the calm space between waking and sleeping. You are absorbing these gentle facts so beautifully, like earth absorbing rain, naturally, effortlessly. You are becoming more and more ready for deep, restorative rest. Not everything in the deer's world is peaceful. There are challenges and threats they face. Chronic wasting disease, CWD, is a contagious neurological disease that affects several deer species and is monitored by wildlife agencies. This disease is caused by prion misfolded proteins that damage the brain and nervous system. It affects white-tailed deer, mule deer, elk, moose, and reindeer. An infected deer gradually loses weight, becomes emaciated, develops abnormal behavior, loses coordination. The disease is always fatal. There is no cure, no treatment. What makes CWD particularly challenging is that it spreads through direct contact between animals and through environmental contamination. Prion can persist in soil for years. Wildlife agencies across North America and beyond monitor deer populations for CWD, testing harvested animals, sometimes culling in areas where the disease is detected, trying to slow its spread. It's a serious concern for deer conservation, for hunting communities, for anyone who cares about wildlife health. But even as we acknowledge this challenge, we can hold hope for the research being done, for the careful monitoring, for the resilience of nature even in the face of disease. CWD is part of the current reality for deer populations, a reminder that wildlife face challenges we must work to understand and address. When a deer walks across soft ground, across mud or snow, it leaves behind evidence of its passing. Deer hooves leave distinctive two-toed tracks that vary in size by species and age. Those cloven hooves, split into two main toes, create tracks that are instantly recognizable. Two elongated ovals, crescents really side by side, sometimes with the two small dew-claw marks showing behind them in deep substrate. A tracker can read these prints, identifying not just that a deer passed this way, but often which species. A white-tailed deer leaves a more delicate, pointed track, while a moose track is massive, 4 or 5 inches long, heavy and deep. The size indicates the deer's age and sex. A large track suggests a mature buck or bull. A small track might be a doe or a young deer. The depth shows weight. The spacing shows gait, whether walking, trotting, or running. The freshness of the track, sharp edges versus eroded, tells when the deer passed. Following deer tracks through snow or along a muddy trail, you're reading a story. Where the deer was going, how fast, whether it paused to browse or passed through quickly. Two-toed tracks, the signature of cervidae, written across the landscape wherever deer roam. You are so deeply relaxed now, so peaceful. Your body has surrendered completely to comfort. Your mind is quiet and still. These facts flow through your awareness like a gentle stream. You need not hold on to them. Just let them pass. Let them carry you deeper, deeper into the embrace of sleep. Each year, in autumn, the behavior of deer changes dramatically. During the rut, mating season, males may fight using their antlers to win access to females. The rut, from the Latin rugire meaning to roar, is a time of intensity and competition. Bucks that have been peaceful for months, that perhaps lived in bachelor groups through summer, now become rivals. Their necks swell with muscle. Their hormones surge. They become focused on breeding. They make scrapes on the ground, rub trees with their antlers, mark territory with scent. They may vocalize, grunting or bugling depending on species, advertising their presence. And when two mature males encounter each other, when both want access to the same doe or the same territory, they may fight. They face each other, lower their heads, and crash their antlers together, pushing, twisting, testing each other's strength. These battles can be violent, antlers locked together with tremendous force, hooves churning the ground. Usually one deer proves dominant, and the other retreats. Occasionally antlers become locked, and both deer may die, unable to separate. But usually the fights establish hierarchy without fatal injury. The stronger male earns breeding rights. The weaker concedes and moves on. The rut, a brief window of intensity, of competition, of nature's drive to pass genes to the next generation. And then it ends. The bucks return to peaceful coexistence, their antlers soon to be shed, the cycle complete for another year. Finally, let us consider the place of deer in human culture, in our stories and imagination. Some cultures revere deer in mythology and religion, and deer frequently appear in folklore and art worldwide. The deer has walked through human consciousness for as long as we have existed. Cave paintings from tens of thousands of years ago show deer among the first animals humans chose to depict. In Celtic mythology, deer were magical creatures, often appearing as messengers from the other world. In Christianity, the deer represents the soul thirsting for God, as the deer pants for streams of water. In Buddhism, a deer appears in the story of Buddha's first sermon. Native American traditions across many tribes hold deer as sacred teachers of gentleness and sensitivity. In Japanese culture, deer are messengers of the gods, and in Nara, Japan, hundreds of deer roam freely, protected and revered. Deer appear in countless folk tales, in European stories, in Asian legends, often as wise creatures, sometimes as shapeshifters. Artists through all ages have painted and sculpted deer, their grace and beauty inspiring endless creative expression. From ancient petroglyphs to modern films, deer remain powerful symbols, representing nature itself, wilderness, gentleness, grace, renewal. They live in our forests and in our imaginations, real animals and mythic archetypes, woven deeply into human culture worldwide. Breathe deeply, slowly. You are so close to sleep now, so ready to surrender to rest. Let everything we've learned settle softly, like leaves falling in autumn. You are safe. You are peaceful. You are exactly where you should be, drifting into dreams. Let us gather together the gifts of this segment. We learned that male deer are called bucks stags, or bulls, and females are called does, hinds, or cows, names varying by species and region. We discovered how deer grow thicker, grayer winter coats through autumn molting, and how they communicate through scent markings, vocalizations, and body language. We learned that some deer form small family groups while others gather in larger herds, and that deer shape plant communities through their browsing, influencing entire ecosystems. We faced the challenge of chronic wasting disease, understood that deer leave distinctive two-toed tracks, and witnessed the intensity of the rut when males fight with their antlers for breeding rights. Finally, we explored how deeply deer are woven into human culture, appearing in mythology, religion, folklore, and art across the world. 10 more truths, 10 more threads, woven into the tapestry of understanding. Rest now, completely, deeply. Let all knowledge settle into peace, and allow yourself to fall gently, softly, into the deep, restorative sleep that welcomes you, that holds you, that carries you away into dreams of quiet forests and gentle creatures and peace, such peace. Sleep now, sleep. As you rest here in deepening peace, your body completely still, your mind floating in gentle awareness, let us continue our quiet exploration, revisiting truths about deer, allowing each fact to settle over you like moonlight falling softly on a forest path. When we consider the global presence of deer, their reach across our planet, we find them nearly everywhere. Deer are found almost everywhere in the world except Antarctica and Australia. Nearly everywhere. Think of the vastness this represents. Across all of North America, from the frozen Arctic where caribou roam, to the mountains of Mexico, throughout Europe, in ancient forests and modern farmlands alike, across the immense expanse of Asia, from the Mediterranean to the Pacific, from tropical south to frozen north, in South America, in forests and grasslands, even in parts of Africa, where many people don't expect to find deer. They have adapted to mountains and valleys, to wetlands and dry scrublands, to dense forests and open plains. But not Antarctica. That continent of ice offers nothing for them. No plants to browse, no shelter from the endless cold. And not Australia, that island continent where marsupials evolved in isolation, where deer never naturally arrived, though humans have introduced some species in modern times. But almost everywhere else, almost everywhere on Earth where land rises above the sea, deer have found a way to live, to thrive, to make their home. How do deer extract nutrition from the plants they eat? The answer lies in their remarkable digestive system. Deer are ruminants, meaning they chew cud and have a multi-chambered stomach. Ruminants, from the Latin ruminare, meaning to chew over again. This describes their feeding process perfectly. When a deer browses on leaves, grass, or woody plants, it doesn't fully chew the food at first. Instead, It swallows the vegetation after minimal chewing, and this food enters the first chamber of its stomach, the rumen. There, bacteria and other microorganisms begin breaking down the tough plant fibers, fermenting them. Later, when the deer has moved to a safe resting place, it regurgitates small portions of this partially digested material. This is the cud. The deer then chews this cud thoroughly, grinding it with its strong molars, mixing it with saliva. Once properly chewed, the deer swallows again, and the food passes through the other stomach chambers, the reticulum, the omasum, and finally the abomasum, where digestion continues. This multi-chambered system allows deer to extract maximum nutrition from plant material that would be indigestible to animals with simple stomachs. They can feed quickly in exposed areas, then retreat to safety to do the detailed work of digestion. Ruminants, perfectly designed for an herbivorous life. You are doing so well. Your breathing is slow and rhythmic, like waves gently touching shore. Your mind is peaceful and receptive, absorbing these facts without effort, like sand absorbing water. You are sinking deeper into relaxation, deeper into the soft embrace of approaching sleep. There is no struggle, only peace. Let us consider the very structure of a deer's feet, the foundation that carries them through their world. Deer are two-toed hoofed mammals, which places them among the ungulates. Ungulates, the hoofed animals, a diverse group that includes horses, cattle, pigs, and many others. But ungulates divide into two main categories: odd-toed and even-toed. Horses have one toe per foot, odd-toed. Deer have two, even-toed. These two toes, two main digits, each encased in a hard keratin hoof, bear all the deer's weight. They are essentially modified toenails, evolved over millions of years into these specialized structures. When you see a deer track in mud or snow, two crescents side by side, you're seeing the mark of these two hooves. Higher up on the leg, deer also have two smaller dew claws, remnants of what were once functional toes. These rarely touch the ground except in soft surfaces or when the deer is running or jumping. Two-toed ungulates. This places deer in the order Artiodactyla. The even-toed ungulates, a successful group that has spread across the world. Those two hooves, simple yet perfectly effective, carrying deer across every terrain they inhabit. The placement of a deer's eyes tells us much about how they experience the world. A deer's eyes are set wide apart, giving it a broad field of view, unlike predators whose eyes face forward, giving them depth perception for judging distance to prey. Deer have eyes positioned toward the sides of their head. This lateral placement creates a panoramic view, approximately 310 degrees of vision. The deer can see almost all the way around itself, monitoring for danger from nearly every direction, without moving its head. Only a narrow band directly behind, perhaps 50 degrees, is truly a blind spot. This wide field of view is essential for survival. allowing the deer to graze with head down while still watching for predators approaching from the sides or even from behind. The trade-off is reduced depth perception, less ability to judge exact distances straight ahead. But for a prey animal, knowing what's happening all around is more valuable than perfect forward depth perception. Eyes set wide apart, scanning a broad arc of forest or meadow, always watching, always alert. This is how deer see the world. Feel how heavy your eyelids are becoming, how deeply relaxed your entire body feels. You are like still water, peaceful and calm. These facts flow through your mind like gentle currents, requiring no effort, no concentration, just allowing, just receiving. You are drifting beautifully towards sleep and complementing their excellent vision. Their hearing serves them equally well. Deer ears can rotate independently to help detect sound from different directions. These large, mobile ears, shaped like natural satellite dishes, can swivel and turn with remarkable precision. One ear might face forward, focusing on a sound ahead, while the other rotates backward, monitoring sounds from behind. Or both ears might turn in the same direction, pinpointing the exact location of something that caught their attention. Multiple muscles control each ear, allowing rotation through nearly 180 degrees. The shape of the ear, curved and funnel-like, gathers sound waves and directs them into the ear canal, amplifying even quiet sounds. A deer lying in a bedding area, seemingly at rest. Its ears are constantly moving, sampling the acoustic environment from all directions. The crack of a twig 100 meters away, the rustle of fabric from a distant hiker, the warning snort of another deer. All these sounds are detected, located, and evaluated. Ears rotating independently, creating a complete sound picture of the surroundings. Another layer of awareness helping deer survive in a world where danger can come from any direction. When daylight fades and shadows deepen, when night settles over the forest, deer remain active and alert. Deer have strong night vision, which helps them stay alert in low light. The structure of a deer's eye is adapted for seeing in dim conditions. Behind the retina, there's a special layer of tissue called the tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer that bounces light back through the retina a second time, essentially giving the photoreceptors two chances to capture available light. This is why deer eyes glow when caught in headlights. That eerie green or yellow shine, it's light reflecting off the tapetum lucidum. Deer also have a higher proportion of rod cells in their retinas compared to cone cells. Rods are the photoreceptors that work in low light, though they don't perceive color well. This means deer see better than humans in dim light, in the twilight hours of dawn and dusk when they are most active, in moonlit nights when they continue to feed and move. The world never goes completely dark for them. They navigate confidently through conditions that would leave us stumbling. Strong night vision, another adaptation for survival, allowing deer to remain active and aware even when darkness falls. Your thoughts are becoming quieter, fading like daylight at dusk. Your body is so deeply relaxed, so heavy and still. You are absorbing these peaceful truths so beautifully, like earth absorbing gentle rain. Everything is exactly as it should be. You are safe. You are calm, drifting deeper with each breath. Of all the deer's senses, perhaps the most impressive is one we can barely imagine. Deer have an especially strong sense of smell that helps them detect predators. A deer's nose contains hundreds of millions of scent receptors, far more than the few million humans possess. Where we might smell forest, a deer smells individual components, the species of each tree, the moisture level in the soil, the presence of other animals, the age of various scents. Most importantly, deer can detect predators by scent alone. The scent of a wolf, a mountain lion, a bear, a human, each is distinct and recognizable. Wind carries these scents across remarkable distances, and a deer downwind of danger receives ample warning. This is why deer constantly test the air, raising their heads, nostrils flaring, reading the invisible messages written in scent molecules. They can identify other deer by scent, distinguish does from bucks, recognize their own offspring, detect whether other deer are stressed or relaxed. They can smell where a predator walked hours ago, determining whether the threat is fresh or old. This powerful sense of smell is often their first line of defense, detecting danger long before they see or hear it, giving them time to flee or freeze. An especially strong sense of smell, a window into a world of information we can barely comprehend. When fawns are born in late spring or early summer, they enter the world with a built-in survival advantage. Deer fawns are reddish-brown with white spots, which helps camouflage them. That reddish-brown base color, varying from tan to russet depending on the species, blends perfectly with the forest floor. Dead leaves, dried grasses, sun-warmed earth. The fawn's coat matches these tones, and those white spots, seemingly random, scattered across the back and sides, they serve a crucial purpose. When sunlight filters through the forest canopy, it creates dappled patches of light and shadow on the ground. The fawn spots mimic this pattern, breaking up the animal's outline, making it difficult for predators' eyes to distinguish fawn from forest floor. When the fawn lies perfectly still, as it instinctively does for the first weeks of life, it becomes nearly invisible. A coyote or fox might pass within meters and see nothing. This camouflage, combined with the fawn's lack of scent in its early days, provides essential protection when the fawn is too young to run effectively. As the fawn grows, becomes more mobile, better able to escape, the spots gradually fade. By its first winter, the coat will be more uniform, but in those critical early weeks, reddish-brown with white spots, nature's camouflage pattern, a gift of invisibility. You are so peaceful now, so deeply, deeply relaxed. Your whole being is at rest, These facts flow over you like a gentle stream over smooth stones. You need not remember them, just experience them. Just let them carry you deeper, deeper into the welcoming arms of sleep. What do deer eat? How do they gather their nutrition from the plant world? Deer often browse on woody plants, including leaves, stems, buds, twigs, and bark. Browsing. This is the term for feeding on woody vegetation, as opposed to grazing, which refers to eating grass. Deer are both browsers and grazers, but much of their diet comes from woody plants. In forests, they eat the leaves of countless shrub and tree species, selecting carefully, taking a few bites from one plant before moving to another. They eat tender stems, the new growth that's rich in nutrients. In late winter and early spring, before leaves emerge, they eat buds, the tightly packed future leaves waiting to unfold. Twigs too, small branches that deer bite off and consume, getting what nutrition they can from bark and wood. And bark itself. In harsh winters when other food is scarce, deer strip bark from trees, eating the cambium layer beneath, the living tissue of the tree. This varied diet from woody plants, supplemented with grass, forbs, and other vegetation, provides the nutrition deer need throughout the year. They are selective feeders, constantly sampling, moving through their habitat like discerning diners at an endless buffet. Leaves, stems, buds, twigs, bark, all parts of woody plants, all part of the deer's diet. Finally, a note about the seasonal patterns of deer damage to human agriculture and gardens. Deer damage is usually least troublesome between July and September in some regions. During these late summer months, when you might expect problems to be worst, some areas actually experience reduced conflict. This seems counterintuitive, but in regions with good wild food availability during this period, deer may focus less on gardens and crops. Natural mast, fruits and nuts from wild plants becomes available. Does are less desperate for food as fawns become more independent and nursing demands decrease. In some areas, this is the period of relative peace before autumn's increased activity during the rut. However, this pattern varies greatly by region, by deer population density, by what wild foods are available. In many areas, the opposite is true. July through September is when damage peaks, as we learned before. The relationship between deer and human land use is complex, varying by countless local factors. But in some fortunate regions, these late summer months bring a respite, a time when deer and humans can coexist with less conflict, when wild spaces provide enough for deer's needs, and gardens and crops are left in relative peace. Breathe slowly, deeply. You are so close to complete relaxation now, so ready for sleep to embrace you. Let all these gentle facts settle like snow falling softly in a quiet forest, covering everything, peaceful and still. You have learned so much, and now you can simply rest. Let us gather the threads of this peaceful segment. We learned that deer are found almost everywhere except Antarctica and Australia, that they are ruminants who chew cud and have multi-chambered stomachs. We understood that deer are two-toed hoofed mammals, ungulates with eyes set wide apart for a broad field of view. We discovered how their ears rotate independently to detect sounds, and how their strong night vision helps them stay alert in low light. We learned about their especially strong sense of smell that detects predators, and how fawn camouflage works through reddish-brown coats with white spots. We explored how deer browse on woody plants, leaves, stems, buds, twigs, and bark, and learned that in some regions, deer damage is least troublesome between July and September. 10 more gentle truths, 10 more peaceful understandings, settling softly into your consciousness. Rest now, deeply, completely. Let everything fade away and allow yourself to surrender, to drift into the deep, peaceful sleep that calls to you, that wraps around you, that carries you gently away into dreams, into rest, into peace, sleep, sleep. As we come to the final passage of our gentle journey, your body resting in complete peace, your mind quiet as a winter forest at midnight, let us revisit these truths one last time, allowing them to settle into you, becoming part of your understanding, part of your peaceful drift into sleep. When we consider the reach of deer across our world, their presence in so many places, we find them nearly everywhere. Deer are found almost everywhere in the world except Australia and Antarctica. Almost everywhere. Across vast continents and small islands, in forests and grasslands, in mountains and valleys, deer have made their home. North America, from the frozen tundra of the far north to the warm forests of Central America. Europe, from Mediterranean shores to Scandinavian wilderness. Asia, that enormous continent with its incredible diversity of landscapes, holds numerous deer species. South America, with its unique deer adapted to rainforests and pampas. Even Africa, though less well known for deer, has species that have found their niches. But not Australia, that isolated continent where evolution took a different path, where marsupials fill the ecological roles that deer fill elsewhere. And not Antarctica, that frozen continent at the bottom of the world. Too harsh, too cold, too barren for any deer to survive. But nearly everywhere else, everywhere that land rises from the sea and plants grow, deer have found a way. They are truly a global family, a worldwide presence, reminders of nature's adaptability and persistence. And what binds all these far-flung deer together? What makes a poodoo in Chile related to a moose in Alaska? Deer belong to the family Cervidae. Cervidae. This scientific name is the thread that connects them all. No matter how different they appear, no matter how varied their sizes, their habitats, their behaviors, they share this family classification. The family Cervidae has ancient roots, stretching back millions of years through evolutionary time. All members share certain characteristics. They are ruminants. Most grow antlers rather than horns. They are primarily herbivorous. They are ungulates with specialized hooves. This family name, Cervidae, places deer in the grand tapestry of life on Earth, shows their relationships to other animals, honors their shared ancestry. When we say deer, we might picture many different creatures, but Cervidae reminds us they are all family, all connected by the deep bonds of evolution and biology. You are resting so beautifully. Your breathing is slow and gentle, like a sleeping child. Your mind is peaceful and still, absorbing these final truths with such ease, such grace. There is no effort left in you, only peace, only the soft embrace of approaching sleep. You are doing wonderfully. How do deer digest the plants they eat? How do they extract nutrition from leaves and grass? Deer are ruminants, so they chew cud and have a multi-chambered stomach. Ruminants, animals designed to process plant material with remarkable efficiency. When a deer eats, it chews minimally and swallows, sending food to the first stomach chamber, the rumen. Their beneficial bacteria begin breaking down tough plant fibers. Later, in safety, the deer regurgitates this partially digested food, the cud, and chews it thoroughly. This careful chewing, this rumination, breaks down the plant material further. Then the deer swallows again, and the food passes through the remaining stomach chambers, the reticulum, the omasum, the abomasum, each playing a role in digestion. This multi-chambered system allows deer to eat quickly when vulnerable, then retreat to safe places to do the detailed work of chewing and digesting. It extracts maximum nutrition from plant material that would be indigestible to animals with simple stomachs. Ruminants, chewing cud, patient processors of the green world. This is what deer are, perfectly designed for their herbivorous life. Let us consider once more the structure of a deer's foot, the foundation of their graceful movement. Deer are two-toed hoofed mammals, which makes them ungulates. Ungulates, the great group of hoofed animals, and deer belong to the even-toed branch of this family tree. 2 toes on each foot, 2 main digits, each encased in hard keratin. These modified toenails have evolved into perfect structures for the deer's life. When a deer walks, runs, leaps, its weight is borne on these 2 hooves. In soft ground, in mud or snow, these hooves leave distinctive tracks, 2 crescents side by side, the signature of deer passage. Higher on the leg, 2 smaller dew claws remain, vestigial toes that rarely touch the ground. 2-toed ungulates. This places deer in the order Artiodactyla, alongside pigs, cattle, sheep, and many others. But each group has adapted these 2-toed hooves to their particular needs, and deer have perfected them for speed, for silence, for navigating the complex terrain of forests and mountains, for the life they lead. Feel yourself sinking deeper, deeper still. Your body is so heavy, so relaxed, every muscle soft and loose. Your mind is drifting like a boat on a calm evening lake. These gentle facts wash over you, requiring nothing, giving you peace. You are so close to sleep now, so ready to let go completely. The way a deer sees the world differs greatly from how we see it. Deer have a wide field of view because their eyes are positioned on the sides of their heads, not forward-facing like our eyes, not looking straight ahead with binocular vision, but positioned laterally toward the sides. This placement gives deer a panoramic view of the world, approximately 310 degrees of vision, nearly a complete circle. They can see almost everything around them, watching for predators from nearly every direction, without moving their head. Only a narrow band directly behind them, perhaps 50 degrees, is a blind spot. This wide field of view is the vision of a prey animal, an animal that must remain constantly vigilant. The trade-off is reduced depth perception straight ahead. But this is a price worth paying for the ability to monitor their surroundings so completely. Eyes on the sides of the head, scanning a vast arc, watching, always watching. This is how deer experience the visual world. This is how they stay alive in a world where danger can approach from any angle. And their hearing complements their vision perfectly. Deer can hear very well because their ears can turn in different directions without moving their heads. Those large, mobile ears, each controlled by multiple muscles, can rotate nearly 180 degrees. One ear might face forward while the other turns back, monitoring sounds from opposite directions simultaneously. Or both ears might swivel toward the same sound, pinpointing its exact location with precision. The shape of the ears, curved like parabolic dishes, gathers sound waves and funnels them inward, amplifying even the quietest sounds. A deer can hear frequencies beyond human range, can detect sounds from remarkable distances. The snap of a twig, the rustle of clothing, the footfall of a predator, all are heard and evaluated. Those ears, constantly moving, constantly adjusting, create a detailed acoustic map of everything happening around the deer, without moving its head, without alerting potential threats to its awareness. A deer monitors the sound environment from all directions. Ears that turn independently, another layer of vigilance, another tool for survival. You are so peaceful, so deeply, beautifully relaxed. Your eyelids are heavy, perhaps already closed. Your breathing is the breathing of sleep, slow and steady. These final facts drift through your consciousness like clouds across a twilight sky. You need not hold them, just let them pass. Let them help you drift deeper, deeper. When darkness falls, when daylight fades and shadows lengthen, deer do not become helpless. Deer have strong night vision, which helps them move safely in low light. The structure of their eyes includes special adaptations for seeing in darkness. The tapetum lucidum, a reflective layer behind the retina, bounces light back through the photoreceptors a second time, doubling the eye's ability to capture available light. This is what makes deer eyes glow in headlights, that eerie green or yellow shine. Their retinas are rich in rod cells, the photoreceptors that work in low light conditions. While they may not see color as well as we do, they see far better in dim conditions. Dawn and dusk, the twilight hours when deer are most active. These are times when they see clearly while predators with different vision may struggle. Moonlit nights, starlit darkness. These don't blind deer the way they would blind us. Strong night vision, another gift of evolution, allowing deer to remain active and aware even when the sun has set, even when the forest is draped in shadow. Of all their senses, perhaps the most powerful is one we can barely comprehend. Deer have an especially strong sense of smell that helps warn them about predators. A deer's nose is a remarkable organ, containing hundreds of millions of scent receptors, far more than humans possess. While we might detect general scents, deer perceive individual components, creating a detailed olfactory picture of their surroundings. They can smell a predator from hundreds of meters away if the wind is right, can distinguish between species, can tell how recently the predator passed. The scent of a wolf, a bear, a mountain lion, a human, each is distinct and immediately recognized as danger. Deer constantly test the air, raising their muzzles, nostrils flaring, reading the invisible messages written in scent molecules. They can identify other deer by smell, recognize their offspring, determine the reproductive status of potential mates. This especially strong sense of smell is often their first warning of danger, detecting threats before they see or hear them, giving precious time to flee or hide. A sense we can barely imagine. Yet for deer, it's as important as vision is to us, perhaps more so. Your body has surrendered completely now, completely to rest, to peace. Your mind is so quiet, like a candle flame in a room without wind, still, peaceful. These last gentle facts settle over you like the softest blanket. You are safe. You are calm. Sleep is reaching for you with gentle hands. What sustains deer through the seasons? What do they eat to fuel their bodies? Deer often browse on woody plants like leaves, stems, buds, twigs, and bark. Browsing, feeding on woody vegetation. This is a major part of deer life. They move through forests and shrublands, selecting carefully from countless plant species. Tender leaves, rich in nutrients and moisture, are preferred foods. Stems, the new growth on shrubs and small trees, provide valuable nutrition. Buds, those tightly packed future leaves waiting to unfold, are eaten especially in late winter and early spring. Twigs, small branches that deer bite off and consume, provide roughage and some nutrition even when other foods are scarce. And bark, when winter is harsh and other foods are buried under snow, Deer strip bark from trees, eating the cambium layer beneath, the living tissue that keeps trees alive. This diet of woody plants, supplemented with grass, forbs, and other vegetation when available, sustains deer throughout the year. They are selective, constantly sampling, moving through their world with ancient knowledge of what is good to eat, what will nourish them, what will keep them alive. Leaves, stems, buds, twigs, bark, the woody plants, the foundation of the deer's diet. And finally, a note about the seasonal patterns of deer and human interaction. Deer damage is usually least troublesome between July and September in some areas. In certain regions, these late summer months bring a period of relative peace. When wild foods are abundant, when natural mast and diverse vegetation is available, deer may focus less on human gardens and agricultural crops. The desperation of early spring has passed. The intensity of preparing for winter has not yet begun. Does are less stressed as their fawns grow more independent. In these fortunate areas, July, August, and September can be months when deer and humans coexist more peacefully, when conflicts are reduced, when the wild world provides enough that deer need not raid cultivated areas as frequently. Of course, this varies greatly. Many regions see the opposite pattern, but in some places, these late summer months are a time of balance, of relative harmony. A reminder that coexistence is possible when wild spaces are healthy and abundant. Breathe so slowly, so deeply. You are at the very edge of sleep now, the boundary between waking and dreaming. These final moments of our journey together, let them wash over you. Let them carry you gently across that threshold, into rest, into peace, into sleep. Let us gather these final threads, weaving them into completion. We have remembered that deer are found almost everywhere except Australia and Antarctica, that they belong to the family Cervidae, that they are ruminants who chew cud and have multi-chambered stomachs. We recalled that deer are two-toed hoofed mammals, ungulates with eyes positioned on the sides of their heads for a wide field of view. We learned again how their ears can turn in different directions, how their strong night vision helps them in low light, how their especially strong sense of smell warns them of predators. And we closed with their browsing behavior on woody plants, and the seasonal pattern where damage is sometimes least troublesome in late summer. 10 final facts, completing our journey of 100 gentle truths about deer. And now, our journey together is complete. You have traveled with me through 100 facts, 100 peaceful truths about these gentle creatures who walk so quietly through the forests of our world. You have learned about their bodies, their senses, their behaviors, their lives. You have discovered their diversity, from the smallest poodoo to the ancient Irish elk, from solitary wanderers to great herds. You have explored their relationships with each other, with their ecosystems, with us. 100 facts, like 100 soft footsteps leading you deeper and deeper into relaxation, into peace, into sleep. Let all this knowledge rest gently in your mind, not as facts to be remembered or tested, but as peaceful truths that have helped guide you to this moment of perfect calm. The deer continue their ancient lives, browsing in forests, watching with wide eyes, listening with mobile ears, moving through their world with grace and wariness. And you can now rest, knowing you have completed this journey, knowing you have learned, knowing you are safe and peaceful and ready for the deep restorative sleep that has been waiting for you. The deer are bedding down in their hidden places, aligning their bodies with Earth's magnetic field. Their senses still alert even in rest, and you too can rest now, completely, deeply, surrendering to sleep, to dreams, to the peace that wraps around you like the softest darkness. Thank you for journeying with me through the world of deer. May your sleep be deep, your dreams be gentle, and your rest be complete. Sleep now, sleep, let go, and drift away into the peaceful night, into dreams of quiet forests and gentle creatures, and endless, peaceful rest. Sleep, sleep, sleep.